The Wannabes episode 2 of season 2. I wonder when we're going to make a clean transition of that. I guess we'll call it season 2 forever, but it's episode 2 now. We're recording this before the first episode's out, so we might have exploded in popularity and we're just blissfully unaware of our new futures. But regardless, I'm here as always with Wassabi.
Yo, what's up, JD? How you doing?
Doing good, man. I'm doing...
Dude, season 2, it's still kind of crazy. I honestly can't believe it.
Yeah, I mean, we've gone long enough to both have a full season 1 and have a full hiatus. We have like 3 hiatuses. That's how long we've been doing this. We've had plenty of opportunities to just be completely out of the game and then back into it. And now we're just riding out this quarantine and I don't know, doing a bunch of stuff. You want to start with Melee? You want to just go like get all the Melee out of the way?
Oh, actually, before we start, as I'm adjusting my volume for the listeners, I actually have a surprise news for you that I've purposely not told you about. You're the last person to know about this.
Oh God, what?
I got a job.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought that's where you're leading. I didn't want to say it. What's the job?
Well, so first thing is, I got a job. I was able to move out of like kind of the clinical research coordinator bubble.
Sweet.
So I'm gonna be starting working at this startup called All Stripes, which helps patients which helps patients connect with like clinical trials for their rare diseases as a project manager, which is really, really sick. And I'm super excited to be starting up that.
Sounds like a step up. Am I wrong?
No, you're not. You're not wrong. It is definitely a step up. I'm able to do kind of the work that I have been really happy to do at TrialSpark on like an official basis, like working cross-functionally and like improving and like optimizing processes, while also like being able to like kind of work in like a different department, which I'm really excited about.
All right, that's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You've been looking for a job for a minute, right?
Yeah, no, it's been a hot minute. You know, furloughed in May, let go in August, so it's definitely been a lot. Big journey, definitely big W personally. Big W for me. Now, I think the only other thing that comes with this announcement is actually that it's based in SF.
Oh. So are you going to be working remote? Are you out to California?
So I will be working remote till the holidays, but then Pilar and I are kind of talking about making that cross-country road trip move official early 2021.
Oh my God. San Francisco?
To the Bay Area. Yeah, because I mean her school's also there. She's just started her grad school program at Berkeley, so it's been a long time coming.
That's wild. Okay. So clearly they're going to pay you enough to afford that, because that shit's expensive. That is the most expensive place in the world to live. That's the only thing I really know. I've been to San Francisco once. The one thing I know is that apartments are somehow more expensive than Manhattan. And 2 is that it's pretty great. There's like a lot of stuff to do. It's an amazing city. So
I'm super excited. Some homies out there remember Aziz from
he's in San Francisco
days. Yeah, he's in San Francisco. A lot of my other friends like Tyler are out there, and so I'm really excited. And then in terms of like packages and stuff like that, like I'll tell you details like off screen and stuff like that, but I'm pretty proud of it. It's definitely I'll be able to make it work, which is really nice.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's as long as you're covered, then you're gonna have a good time, man. That's fucking crazy. So in the next couple months, I mean, man, I was getting so used to you in New England. I know. If I ever go to New England, I'm gonna have some options. But now if I go to San Francisco, I'll have options, which is
Genesis
likely.
2022. We're just thinking ahead.
Oh, that's a good point. I'll have some. We'll work out the details then. But congratulations, man. When do you start? When's your first day?
First day is November 4th, so it's coming up.
Okay, so
but
you got a solid 2
I got
weeks.
a few days. Yeah, a solid 2 weeks notice. Yeah, really excited though. I mean, it's the team seems really awesome, and I really like kind of their values and like what they really like, and it seems like it's going to be a good place to grow and like kind of get challenged, and like I'll be taking like leadership classes with them and all of that, so I'll be able to like both be like mentored by them and have a lot of room for growth, but also be able to like grow as a like manager and leader as well, which I think I've really been looking for since since both my old job, but like kind of solidified it when I created Melee Online Discord. So super excited for that.
Yeah, man. We're all looking for that growth opportunity. So I'm really excited. What else can I say? I mean, I've been hoping something would come through and that you'd be able to. Man, how shitty is sending out applications?
Dude, I had it down to a science.
Okay,
for sure.
All right,
but it's definitely rough. You get a few no's and you're a little sad boy for a little bit. You watch some anime, you pick it back up.
Yeah.
Always a little tough.
Cool. All right. Well, transitioning out of that. Now we can talk about Melee.
Yeah, now we talk about Melee.
Of course. Of course, the normal transition of new job into old hobby.
Yes.
Well, thanks for telling me that. I've lost all momentum in terms of actually caring about this game, but we'll make it work. Yeah. Have you been playing?
Yeah. Solo practice every day. At least an hour or two, probably like 2 or 3, to be honest.
When are you gonna crack that bad boy in Slippy?
In Slippy, once I get my monitor, so probably for the holidays, I'll probably go home and like do like a few weeks with my family right after Thanksgiving. So I'll have my setup and stuff like that, and then after that, like depending on moving plans, I'll kind of figure out what my monitor situation is looking like.
Rock on, man! I gotta see this. I gotta see this in action. Will's playing the box, of course. Big transition. I mean, we talked about a little last episode, but any updates? What are you working on? Like, what specific thing are you trying to nail down?
Yeah, wait. What are your questions? You're going in a little vague.
So here's my question.
Yeah.
What tech is just used to be really easy and now you just can't do? Or it takes a lot of hard effort.
Easy answer for that. There's 2 for me. Chain grabbing, so kind of the mechanic is shield stopping, but the one I use it the most for is chain grabbing, right? And it's because I have to shield with my pinky, and so it's just like I'm getting used to this motion. And then other is shine, turn around wave dash. To like grab ledge.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is like by far, for some reason, like I'm having a lot of trouble with it. Because like I think what's interesting is the box, you can like kind of sometimes input stuff too quickly. Because it's just like there. Like you don't have the travel time that you have to do to switch from like left to right or right to left. And so those definitely have been the 2 things I've been like grinding out a lot. And I'm like definitely have to like rework how I do my chain grab, because I normally just like kind of turn off my brain and just shield stop for everything, like even pivots and stuff like that at low percent. So it's like I just have to do that, but I have to kind of rework it.
Well, thinking about that particular tech, that makes a lot of sense. Why it's like, because even on the control stick, it's like half circle down. It's almost like a traditional fighting game motion.
Yeah, a little bit, kind of like a DP where it's left, down, up again.
Yeah.
So
that's like, and then that, because a box isn't traditional, like cardinal directions, right? It's kind of laid out, so you have to. I don't know. I can't even picture that fluid motion.
Yeah. No, you have to go like left down, and then right, and then like do the waveland input, like wave dash input.
Final question. How about Firefox angles?
That isn't too bad, because like I mean I think it's hard to like I was playing. Young actually visited me a few weeks ago, and so he's literally the only person I played on the box I was doing okay against his tertiary Falco.
Okay.
And his secondary Falcon, but he didn't give me the Marth. But I think with the angles, it's weird because like it's so intuitive, like you see it with your eyes and your fingers kind of like adjust to it, right? But that being said, like having 8 cardinal directions isn't so bad. It just the only difference is like you have to like now think, where is my placement off state for this Firefox, rather than like Firefox at this like ambiguous like distance, and then like kind of having your fingers kind of work it out there. So it's kind of doing the process in reverse, because like I could be like, oh, I think this is the shallow angle, and then I completely still like miss the ledge of battlefield, or I don't actually snap the ledge, I go a little bit over. And so it's like more about like where do I position myself off stage for the Firefox, rather than the reverse, which is Firefoxing and then positioning my fingers to grab ledge.
Okay. Are you playing the unnerfed? Are you playing like the super OP version?
No. I'm trying to learn nerf. You gotta follow the box manifesto. It's quite a read. It's a long read.
Yeah, I'm not interested in the manifesto by Hacks. I don't know. Seems difficult to me. But
yeah, it's crazy. I think the other thing is like dashing out of crouch. So for like my favorite thing in the game, tech chasing, like. Is a little bit tougher, so I'm just getting used to that because that's nerfed to a 1-frame input where you have to like let go of the down button for crouch, and then in 1 frame press left or right.
So is it? And it's impossible. Tough. You can't dash out of crouch then.
No, you definitely can. It's not that hard like to like kind of switch like that, but it's not that hard to like switch from holding down with your middle finger to holding left or right with your ring finger or your index finger. It's just you have to get used to making it 1 frame.
So dashing out of crouch on a controller, is it
dashing back? Dashing forwards, the frame leniency is better. So it's dashing back out of crouch. No, it's dashing back out of crouch. That is a 1 frame window.
Okay, just to make it equally difficult.
Yeah, because generally dashing back out of crouch for. It's just it would be too broken if you could just kind of do it a little bit automatic if the frame leniency was better.
Gotcha. Okay. Man, that's just like he really does not want that thing to get banned.
No.
He's ahead of the curve on that.
Yeah. I mean, that being said, there's definitely a lot of like lifestyle quality changes that I think are like really nice. Like knowing that your inputs like do give you like a end product, like what like pressing X combination of buttons like gives you is really nice. Like knowing that like if I hold down the modifier and I press up, I will not jump and I will get an up tilt is like really nice. So like for example, like ledge dashing is nice because it's like you just have to like get the timing, but the buttons are always going to be the same.
So you're not going to fast
with a controller. Yeah, versus controller, you're kind of like like you train your fingers to have the least amount of variance for it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then on top of that, I can like up tilt, which is really nice without getting a tap jump. I was such a bad up tilter.
Yeah, I was talking today about how running up smash is a big problem for me, and that's more of a timing thing. But I could see that might be a little easier on the box.
Yeah, I think it's definitely weird to get your like my fingers are like just starting to get used to it, so I like can string stuff together now. But like in terms of like L cancel timings, like that's been super weird. Like realizing like, oh, like that wasn't an L cancel, this is like the L cancel, and I think like a lot of like the internal muscle memory is kind of being broken down right now. But even like Shine, like running Shine up smash, like just where the buttons are, it makes it a little bit awkward. But it definitely doesn't have like the human. Well, that's more. I would say those two are kind of pretty much the same for controller and box, because you have to get the timing correct still on the box in terms of like the button presses.
Yeah, that's all.
I'd say Shine grab is a little bit easier.
Shine grab, it's just shining and then grabbing.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, but I get jump less because like I grab with Z, which is really nice.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see if I have any last questions. Well, you haven't played yet, which I totally get. I mean, I would be I'd be frustrated within the first 6 months of switching the box. So the fact that you're trying to play soon is pretty impressive. Yeah, I guess we'll just see how it comes along. I mean, I think if there's one person that can make the switch fairly easily, it's you. And I see that you mentioned last episode that you're like rediscovering the game in a pretty productive way too, just kind of seeing it in different ways, which is kind of like the you go into a valley to get a higher peak type deal.
Yeah, the local maxima.
Yeah.
If you remember the Wobbles article.
I think about that. Like, yeah, I think about that
2016, 2017. That was such a sick article.
Yeah, but then he ended up just going into he went to the valley, and then there was like he just chilled there until now. He's still chilling there because he hasn't made
I mean, sometimes you do get burnt out, you know? Sometimes.
No, I know. I'm poking fun.
Yeah, of course. But I don't know. I think it's really interesting. I don't think it again, it's weird because I don't want to give too much benefit to me. It just seems what's the funnest for Melee for me right now, and relearning it is honestly lighting a fire for me to do other things more analysis and stuff like that. But if I just worked on the stuff I wanted to on controller, that is directly what would make me a better player in the end, you know? I don't think the Switch is keeping me playing the game in a sense that maybe if I did it on my controller I wouldn't have, and it's just been really fun. But if I really wanted to, the fastest way to get good would be just to keep practicing on the controller.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, this also is a longevity thing. It's going to keep your fingies able to play unless you...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for fingers, it's really nice, actually.
Can you tell? Can you tell it's just easier?
I mean, I'm playing... I haven't played anyone for, long sessions, so I can't, tell, right? Because, that will, really show, after, a 6-hour sesh with, Hacks or, Ryobeat or Smuckers or you, right?
Sure.
But in terms of, how it feels, it doesn't feel I don't have to, I still have to, warm up my hands, but it doesn't feel, as awkward when I start, you know?
Gotcha. All right, man. Sweet. Any final thoughts before we kind of turn the page?
No, that's kind of it for me, you know? I think let's get to the next topic. Kind of we were talking off air, kind of what are... I want to hear about you, your kind of goals, where you see the rest of the year going for you and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I've had a few kind of angles that I could hit on this. Well, first off, I didn't tell you this, but I'm moving back. I'm technically moving back to my home county, but I'm going to be living with my grandma. She has an apartment that Ashley and I are moving into. We're getting free rent, which is sweet, but we're also gonna...
That is high.
We're
I want to be excited, but you did tell me this.
Yeah. So we're kind of taking care of her and kind of I don't know. It's going to be nice to not have to pay rent, but there's a lot of it that is still kind of we need to see how it makes me feel in the long term. It's going to be nice to be able to spend time with her. I mean, she is aging, and it's going to be nice to be the person that's responsible and gets to take care of her. And it's not that she's requires a lot of attention, but just, hey, did you have breakfast? Did you drink your water? Take your pills? Kind of stuff like that. So
yeah, of course.
It's a kind of a service to my family in that sense. So that's going to be December 1st. We have an official moving out date there. And
damn, that's so soon.
I know. We have a lot of moving out to do. Every weekend until then is going to be getting shit out of our apartment. And until then, I mean, honestly, it's been kind of difficult to find motivation for work, even though I technically I have a job where I could be doing stuff all the time, and there's just been I'm just hitting these brick walls of there's so much I can do, and I just end up doing very little, bare minimum type deal. And I kind of had a minor epiphany that it's just the field I'm in is so soulless. It's so just you're here to make money for the sake of making money. We're not even making goods. We're just selling other people's products. It's just so, I don't know. I don't want to blame that, right? I don't want to say
Yeah,
like
of
that's
course.
why I'm not working hard. It's just it's hard for me to kind of get that moving, and in kind of in tandem with that is my other things that I want to work on. It's like I don't do that either. So I have these full days of quote unquote work where I'm just slacking. I'm super slacking, and it's starting to wear me down. Where unless I kind of shift something and find a change in momentum, I'm just going to be kind of in this rut for a while, and it kind of sucks. So I actually made a move today talking about our boy Ventus. I tried to open Discord, but I'm in Discord, so we'll talk. We'll figure it later. But so I'm actually gonna. I talked to him about doing like a formal hire of him
That's
to
high.
do a sort of like the best way to put it would be like a life coach, but maybe not life coach, but like a coach sort of.
Yeah, of course, of course.
To kind of he's gonna like assign homework, and we're gonna have goals, and we're gonna like work towards these things. And the last time I was in this position, it was a lot harder for me to cope, and then I started therapy, and that worked. This one feels more like, okay, it's not like I feel stuck and feel anxious. Like I know my options. I know that worst case scenario, I lose my job or quit, and I'll be living in a place rent free and I'll be able to work it out and figure it out. Not a great scenario, but at least
I mean, there's a lot worse.
yeah, exactly.
So, rent free also just instantly, yeah.
Takes a lot
that's a good start. That's
a lot
a
of
good
the
start.
load off. Yeah. So it's like I know I don't know what my next step is. I don't know, maybe I do just start working towards a job that I'm like passionate about and really care about. And or I just make this situation work and then start actually kind of putting good solid hours into these side projects, into the Wannabes, into YouTube, and these things that fulfill me a lot more frequently, and am able to kind of gain some traction there. And so he's been great so far. You're the know better than anyone.
Yeah, love Matt.
Yeah.
Super, super nice guy.
And now it's like, all right, Matt, let's I've gotten a taste, let's see what we can make of this. And he was immediately on board, and we're probably gonna have a call, if not tonight, then probably tomorrow, and set some goals up, and hopefully that turns into something that turns things around.
Yeah, no, that's super exciting. I mean, Matt's definitely such a homie, such a nice guy, really smart too. So I mean, I think that's also, it's really exciting because it's kind of like both of you guys are trying to jumpstart each other's careers by helping each other. So there's this sort of like symbiotic relationship for it, which I find really interesting.
Yeah.
But I definitely like get the point of that, and I think like yeah, I think both of us are kind of similar in the sense where it's like we need like each individual like passion to like kind of be firing at all cylinders for us to like kind of really feel something, right? And I definitely get that. Like I mean, like last time I think about like when that was like peak Wannabes, like 2-3 episodes a week, HNC every week, Melee, and like both of our works kind of like doing pretty well, like you starting out with like I think some new stuff, or like looking into like podcasting for your company, and then and me kind of just like kind of being able to like work on like side projects with the company. So like, but definitely like when we were firing at all cylinders, I kind of think about like maybe like what was it, like January or so, like February.
Yeah.
January, February was real like peak all cylinders, like flow state.
Yeah, I mean, I was waking up before 6 every morning, and
yeah,
I was like, because it's weird, because now I'm home all the time, and I have this flexibility, this insane flexibility, and I just haven't found a way to. Every time I'm away from my computer, if I'm about to fall asleep, if I'm on a walk, if I'm on even on the couch. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
next time I sit down, I'm just gonna crank out a bunch of work. I'm gonna finish editing that episode. I'm gonna write a script. I'm gonna blah blah blah. The second I sit down, it becomes a whole new ball game. Even if I start working, I'll do like one thing, and then it's like, oh, that's enough. It's very frustrating to be back in this kind of attitude, and it almost feels like I'm in high school again, where my parents aren't home. I have homework, but I can get away with not doing homework, and I just do the internal calculations of like, what's the minimum I can do without getting called out or embarrassed or the worst or getting yelled at. You know, like what can I really scrape by on? And having that be a kind of starting point sucks. Like, it's after a while, like trying to fall asleep last night, I was like, what the fuck am I doing, man? Like, why I just keep falling into this? Mm-hmm. What am I doing? And it's not a good feeling. And so I'm just trying to spark that thing we had again. You know, you mentioned this peak. I remember exactly how it felt to be looking forward to Wednesdays, because those were when I get to do the most. Before and at, we got to release an episode, go to, like, all these things converged, and it wasn't Fridays that I look forward to or Saturdays I look forward to. Like,
yeah. I definitely feel that, right? Like, Wednesday was that was the big day, because we release, we record, you know, maybe we record the morning of, we release, we do some social media marketing, we do our work, we go to HNC, we try our hardest and lose at some point in top 8, and then had a beer and went home, tired and exhausted. Those were the best days.
Yeah. And so
I think,
I don't know. Yeah,
sorry.
No, you go. I'm just gonna rehash the same old.
No, I think this is interesting. I think this is a really interesting topic we kind of like stumbled on, and I think this is why, like, honestly, this is, I think, really important to like sit on and think about, because it's kind of where this podcast is going as a whole, right? Like, we were able to experience such highs thanks to, you know, Melee and like all the activities we did that like surrounded that, and it kind of expanded both our worldview and also like realizing like what really makes us tick for that flow state, right? Similar to like going on a super sick run in bracket, you could argue we went on a super sick run in life, you know, in the February days, right?
Yeah.
And I think we're just both trying to find that, because we reached such heights, and I can really relate to that. I think it's really interesting, because how do I phrase this? I feel like it's one of those things like similar to bracket and Melee and performances. You can set it up so that it can like happen more often, but you can't like spark it necessarily on will, right? And I feel like that's what I'm hearing as a friend, where like the frustration is coming from, you know, because it's like I know what that feels like. I'm fully aware of myself and like what I want to, like what I can do, and like it's not sparking right now. Kind of like a match that doesn't light, almost, if I had to give an analogy.
Yeah.
And so I think it's really interesting, because I think the mat thing and like really shaking things up is sometimes like the best way to like get out of your head and kind of like start doing it, you know, because it definitely, I think that's a big thing. I mean, I'm like on it at, you know, also a little bit too, you know, trying to in a different sense, where I'm trying to like figure out what stuff I really want to like commit to, on top of like just solo practicing and a lot of my work projects that I know are coming up and that are really exciting. Like, do I want to continue like my YouTube channel and all of that, and keep making content, and like how often do I want to do that, and that sort of thing. So I think that's really important. Obviously the podcast lands on like I definitely want to keep that up, like that is like the first and foremost. But, you know, in terms of like YouTube and streaming and all of that, like what hobbies do I let go of, and what hobbies do I kind of like bite down and keep doing and try to like mitigate it. Like, I've been trying to read this book for like months, and it's so hard to pick up a book for some reason now.
Yeah. No, tell me about it, man. It's and then I this weekend I actually did a good amount of reading, and I thought, I guess I'm not completely out of it. You know, I think it's just because yesterday and today was just same old, same old. But this weekend I was able to do a good amount of reading, like 80 pages or something, which is like,
Damn, that's sick.
crazy amount. It's over 2 days. It's like, you know, big deal for me. But I was able to I was kind of able to unlock something where the book is, do you know Nick Offerman from Parks and Rec?
Yeah, I'm familiar.
So he wrote I think his first book, he's a couple, but it's kind of about like how to live. He uses the term live deliciously. And it's about kind of, I mean, we've all heard it before. It's working with your hands. It's working hard and feeling the result of what you're doing. It's simple pleasures. It's not being distracted. And I mean, he was kind of railing against video games, not like hardcore like Nancy Reagan or Hillary
but
Clinton,
a little bit like millennial, different generation type. I get that.
Yeah. So he's kind of just saying that digital things that you achieve in a digital world just can't be as fulfilling, which of course me and you would probably disagree with. I mean, granted, I think what he was more talking about is like the difference of building a cabinet versus like getting a Facebook post to have a lot of likes. I don't think he was talking necessarily about the competition that we're doing, but regardless, that stuck with me as like, okay, I'm here, I need to clean. I'm going to clean instead of play on my phone. And for some reason I was able to get into that state and then just get into that rhythm of like taking care of what I needed to take care of. All because of like the momentum. The first thing I did that morning was a read instead of like fuck around on my phone. So I'm trying to figure this out. My room's like a mess. You see this? Like I'm living in chaos. Like my whole apartment is like this, and we're moving soon, so this is the worst it's ever going to be, and from now on like it can only really improve since we're moving shit out of it. But yeah, I'm kind of banking on kind of this shift into a new life to be like a kind of a clean slate type deal. I know problems follow wherever you go. It's not like you just can whisk away difficulties with a new location, but
you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, even my rants are scattered.
No worries. So yeah, I'm here to listen and help.
Well,
I think that's really interesting.
Yeah,
I think what stood out to me in that book is like, I haven't read it, but just like from the brief summary that you gave, was like the idea of feeling progress, right? And I definitely get that. Like, you know, it's really weird because I don't consider myself a gamer, so I actually don't like disagree with like what Nick Offerman's saying, but at the same time, like I think that like it's a very narrow view of what like video games can be depending on like the genre, you know,
right.
What I'm saying?
Right.
But I definitely think it is a balance. Like even myself, like I've started running a lot more recently, just kind of to like burn some steam and get like kind of be out of my head, you know, and that's like the only reason. It's not to like lose weight or anything. It's kind of just like it helps me kind of get out of my head, where like gaming and stuff like that is all a little bit in your head. And I think that's like what's interesting about it. So maybe that's like what he means, right? And like the idea of like what is progress and feeling that progress is important.
Yeah, and kind of like final thing on this whole like centrifuge of my internal anxieties is like, so tomorrow I have a conversation with my boss, my new boss, who's very very cool and chill, and I'm thinking about opening up and really just coming clean to what I've been doing. Not like I'm gonna leave a lot out, but I'm gonna tell him like, look, man, I'm not doing a good job. Like this is not for me. and
Mm-hmm.
hopefully he gets it. And I'm kind of banking on, you think like, what's the worst that can happen? You know, like the first time you ask
Yeah.
out a girl, you're like,
Yeah, of course.
what gets you to that point is what's the worst that can happen, and it turns out they say no.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what I'm trying to go into this, because if I could have a more satisfying job, if I could actually show up and like do work on a day to day, then I'm not just distracting myself with YouTube and gaming all day. I'm more so able to grow and come in with a real work ethic. What? What? I'm talking to my boss tomorrow. Ashley, stop interrupting my podcast, for Christ's sake.
Why are you doing a
I'm
podcast
recording.
right now?
I'm recording.
You're supposed to be working.
It's 5:45. Get out of here. I'm closing the door on you.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah. Ashley's starting to see. She gets it.
No worries. I think a talk with your boss and like being honest and vulnerable is always super, super important. I mean, like, do you want like my thoughts on it?
Yeah, of course.
Cool. Well, I just want to ask. Maybe you had a plan all along. So, I think like from what I understand, like, and like my idea of like you're there to help them grow their business, but they also have like a responsibility to like help and like challenge you to kind of grow as well. And it kind of seems like it's not like the tasks being given, whatever your assignments or things aren't really challenging you in the way that you need it to be.
Let me stop you there, because I'm not even.
Okay.
I'm given a very open-ended task.
Yeah, of course.
And I think, like, when my job was more like do this, I was able to fall into that. But now it's just like, find business.
Yeah, that is too vague. Like, you want to like have like clear goals and deadlines and like to know when you like have succeeded.
Yeah. So hopefully,
yeah. So it sounds like it's really muddy water. Yeah. I mean, it seems like you just need more context with things, and like, it's like honestly, like in my opinion, like it's like their job to like as leaders of the company, right, to express that and make kind of goals and all of that very clear to the employee, so that you do feel that sort of sense of progress and urgency and like being challenged and kind of like pushed, right? Like, and kind of getting your rhythm going with it, right? It's not just like, oh, do this, and then there's like expectation that you'll do it, right?
Mm. Yeah,
I mean, those are just like my quick thoughts on it.
It's tricky. Yeah, I know it's tricky, and I think I just kind of needed to vent out my frustrations there. But I mean, to anyone else who's listening and sort of identifying with that, I actually reached out, or someone reached out to me. I was streaming, and just I won't say names just because there's no reason to. It's not like anything embarrassing, but they reached out, and we kind of talked about content creation and just like how difficult it was, right?
Yeah, of course.
Just the things that are stopping us. So I mean, anyone else that's feeling these things, I understand how frustrating it is, and just from the act of like talking about it, I feel so much better than even 30 minutes ago. Just putting that out there. It's like these things feel really constrictive sometimes, and like, I don't know how to fix this, and I don't know what can fix this. And so just if these things are frustrating you, then just like fucking vent them out, man. It'll make you feel better.
Of course. Yeah, I mean, I think that's like it's about being open and vulnerable, right? Like, that's like always the kind of like goal of this all, right?
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
But let me know how the conversation goes tomorrow. I definitely will check in on you, make sure that you're feeling good and stuff like that. So
yeah,
and feel free to, like, if you have any like questions or worries, like, oh, you can always hit me up, as you know.
Absolutely. Whew. Okay.
All right. Well, I think that's a solid like end of that segment.
Yeah. So we do have probably 10 minutes or so that we typically like to shut it down. We haven't really talked about strict goals. I kind of went off into this whole other thing. So I want to
of course,
hear from you. What goals do you have for the end of the year? For yourself, for Melee, for your job, for anything.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think for me, personal goals is like learning to establish, like, kind of being more comfortable with establishing boundaries, both with like with kind of everyone, like both like in my relationship and stating like my needs and stuff like that, and with friends. And you know, sometimes like it's like being like agreeing to play Among Us and then, you know, last minute flaking out because it's like I'm really not in the mood for it, or I got other stuff to do. And I think like I do feel uncomfortable in those situations. So like kind of just establishing boundaries. The most important is establishing boundaries with my family and my family members. And it's been tough, but I'm starting to do it, and they're starting to like get the gist of it without being super toxic about it. They're still toxic about it and like call me touchy and shit with like that, which is never really fun.
No.
But they're starting to like kind of bend, and I'm starting to see like slight nuances of improvement from them as people. So I think that's really big. I think like career wise, like really kicking it off with this new job. I mean, like I did honestly, like I know the pandemic like has been like super hard, and this summer was like by far my worst summer ever on so many fronts. And it was just like I was so anxious the whole time. But you know, it's nice to have that kind of big W at the end. And honestly, like if it wasn't for the pandemic and me getting furloughed and then let go, it was like I don't think I would have pushed to like really switch my career path like so abruptly. Like I probably would have finessed it. I mean, you know me, I would try to finesse it, you know, a little bit smoother, if possible. But you know, I kind of just was like, I got to do it. Like now's the time. Kind of like I want to go to California. I kind of want to get out of this like this path that I'm currently on and switch tracks. And kind of I can't believe I like was able to do that. So like that is like already that's the starting line. So I got that done, but like now it's time to kind of like put that into action, if that makes sense.
Yeah, dude.
Besides that, like Melee goals, I think it's just like gonna be grinding the box, like really still trying to be super active as a player. And I truly believe that I can like make a comeback in 2021. I think it's really daunting when you see like so many great players prompting up from online. Like obviously we've like sung praise for Aklo for so long, but it's great to see that like Azul's been crazy recently. Like Spark's only gotten better, and so I feel like you have this like half of the top 100 being like biting down real hard on this new environment and like improving a lot and looking, you know, untouchable at times, and then the other half being like still trying to get their mojo back because, you know, like quarantine's tough, like, and it's in the end of the day it's still Melee, you know, it's still Melee. It's a video game and a fighting game. So, and there's more important stuff, you know, than that in the end of the day. So I think that's what I see, but I don't know if like I'm like pretty happy with like the path I'm on for Melee, but I know that I'm gonna have to work really hard to kind of break into that top 100, and I might not in 2021. Honestly, I think it's gonna be. I'm gonna be like learning on the box and stuff like that. Like I'm definitely not fully confident in that, but I'm going in with the idea that I can like get to where I was at some point in 2021.
Sweet. I believe in you, man.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, we're just gonna gun for it, you know. Plus, I'm going to NorCal, you know, like there's no better place to kind of
make friends.
Get better.
You're not there to make friends.
I'm there to make friends. There's so many homies there.
I know.
There's so many homies there.
I know.
The amount of people I've money matched from NorCal is astounding. I love NorCal money matches.
Well, you are so San Francisco. I guess north of San Francisco is not even that many cities or that much population anyway. So that is kind of the NorCal hub, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty much the NorCal hub from what I understand. I don't know where everyone is. I'll probably be in like Berkeley, so just right outside of the city, just because that's where Pilar's school is. So,
Sweet.
but that's like, you know, like either 40 minutes public transport or like a 20-minute drive over the bridge.
Well, I can't wait to come visit.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be hype. But you know, that's kind of my goals. I'm hoping to like, I mean, aside from that, like I'm pretty happy. I like lost a lot of weight over quarantine and really fixed, you know, watched what I ate and started exercising and stuff like that. Mostly it was diet though, but I still would like to get a little lighter just because it like makes me feel really healthy, and I definitely feel myself more with the piece I'm wearing. I'm trying to show up to the first major looking like a snack, absolute snack. So
Well, hopefully
you know.
that's the major is sooner than later, but I think you might have some time to
Yeah, of course.
finalize the triceps or whatever the final piece is.
I'm not trying to look like J Flex, you know, but
Oh, who can?
I know who can. But you know, I think that's about it for me. I mean, like I think the last things is kind of just like shoring up, rebalancing my life, like for like choosing, like really nailing down which hobbies I like commit to. You know, so like again, like YouTube and streaming are probably like the most up in the air right now. Definitely leaning more on YouTube than like streaming personally.
I
But
hear that.
that's up in the air for sure.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
What about you though? You know, like
I'll-
I know
I'll stay on
it started
topic
with
now.
you talking,
Yeah, I'll
and
stay on
then
topic.
yeah, now it's time to be on topic.
Well, there's one idea I really want to stick to, and it always come whenever I think about like what videos I want to make and how I want to project myself. There's one idea I keep coming back to. I've made one where I reread old journals and kind of react to what those journals are, and I have a big log kind of saved. They're all digital, you know, so
Mhm.
I'm considering a series where I just go one by one and react to my old journals and kind of put that out there. Which I think I'm going to talk to Matt as being the thing he keeps on me about, because I brought it up to him before and it's something I'm excited about and still even thinking about it. It's like, okay, there's something real there that feels more satisfying, and even reading my own thing, I'm like learning as I'm going, you know? So that's like, I think I want to get a bunch of those out, or at least some by the end of the year, kind of lock that. I also want to rebalance how I edit the Wannabes episodes and get those out, because it's really not that hard. It's just a matter of like putting that time in and committing to it, and committing, you know, to you, and making sure I don't let you down with my responsibilities here. And besides that, like I'm just trying to make it through, man. I'm just trying to get out of this apartment. I'm gonna miss it. It did me well, but just kind of step up, get my shit done. Moving's gonna be a hassle, but whatever. Do what you gotta do, and by the end of the year, hopefully I can just sort of take a deep breath and get back to it, and next year, just who knows, maybe I'll do a resolution for the first time ever. They never work for anyone, but
No, yeah. I like soft goals. I like thinking of them as soft goals.
Yeah.
I feel like resolutions is like too hardcore / basic.
yeah, I don't
Honestly,
just
there's like no nuance to it at all.
yeah, I think just the timing of it. It's like once I move, I'll settle in, and then it's going to be the new year, and I mean, you know, I'm going to be looking towards, okay, now I'm in this new space. What can I make of it, and who can I be that's going to make myself proud? But just gotta breathe through it, figure it out. That's all I got, man.
Yeah, I feel it. I mean, like, I think, again, like this, I mean, honestly, I like where this podcast really went, and I'm really excited for it. You know, it's going to be really interesting the next few episodes. I mean, like, even when we started, you know, we were both like, what, where do we go with this?
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's going to be really interesting. So I think we'll just kind of figure that on its way. I mean, that's why it is truly a season 2, you know?
Yeah. No, I'm
But
happy.
I think that's exciting about like the move and everything, and like in terms of like resolutions, like definitely I'm not a fan of like just because it's a new year to do it. Just whenever you feel like it,
Sure.
Maybe it's like 2 weeks out after you move into your house and get settled and stuff like that. It kind of hits, kind of just ride the flow of it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I trust myself to figure it out, but I don't trust myself to do it without trying or without sacrificing, So,
Yeah, of course.
got to find that balance. I got you and Matt to keep me accountable. And hopefully the listeners too will say, hey, JD, get your shit together.
I mean, yeah, it's going to be nice to get everyone back.
Yep.
Hopefully we had some questions going in. Would love to answer and do like specific Q&A, like quick shot episodes, tight 5-10 minutes or so.
Yeah.
That'd be hype.
I agree. But again, we haven't released the first episode yet, so
I mean, that's coming out tomorrow.
It's coming out tomorrow.
All right, man. Whew. It's been fun talking.
Yeah, it's been real, man. Take care, and we'll talk soon. Among Us
tonight?
I'll
see you next week. I can't Among Us tonight. Today I'm chilling with Pilar. It's like she had class all day, so we're gonna probably chill. We started watching Barry, which is super hype.
Barry's so good, dude.
Is it? Well, okay, don't spoil it. We're on episode 8, so we're close.
Then you know how good it is.
Yeah, I know. I'm hooked.
Yeah,
is what I'm saying.
Word. All right, dog. We'll talk soon.
Yeah, I'll talk to you soon.
Peace.
Peace.